Hello. I sent one email. Worked on the scene. Took a nap. I don't really know what to say. I don't really know what to... when I think about last year, how the Hollywood Reporter did Once Upon a Time at Cannes, a Hollywood love story, and it was him and Daniela, like, holding each other. Like, what that actually represents now. Like, seeing it now for what it is. Right? That's like... Right? That's him saying to me in no uncertain terms, right? That my wife is fantasizing about you. Like he wants me to believe, right? So we say that his baseline psychologically is deception. That everything that we see in the press is a mask hiding the truth, hiding the actual truth for what it is. Right? So, right? Quentin cancels the movie critic because I'm writing in protest and he actually wants to give me the role and doesn't know how to talk to me. So he has the press announce that he's canceling the film because he's not actually canceling the film, but he doesn't want to just like call me. You get it? And I got 1,000 other examples that I could point to. Up to and including, right, him and Daniela like in each other's arms, right? Because he's like on the surface, right? Like what you see, like the gloss, the veneer, right? Is like this like cool, like Hollywood power couple. When the actual reality is that she fantasizes about me all the time because, right? I'm the only man that ever stood up to his psychic sadism, to the man who understood what Quentin does to people and why it's sick, and then why it's destroyed their marriage. That's the point, right? That Quentin, as a result of his genetic deficiency, right, has bound her up in such bondage, right, psychic enslavement, physical bondage, right, that she just hates everything, right? And so this, again, we have to have compassion, right? We have to have wisdom and understanding, right? Was his mother drinking a lot while she was pregnant? And that's why he has a genetic deficiency. It's a complicated question. It's not like cut and dry. Was Charles Manson a product of the CIA? Like all these things, But, I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is, when I'm in my mind, a lot of times when I'm in my mind now, right? If we say that telepathy, right, is an expression of intention of the conscious field of man into creation, right? And that Quentin has created a psychiatric case study of a telepathic connection between us as a result of him exercising his intention to view me and manipulate me as a psychic, then we understand why I say things like, when I close my eyes to go to sleep, I always recite the mantra, Quentin Tarantino commits suicide, Quentin Tarantino commits suicide, Quentin Tarantino commits suicide. Because he's always there. He's always, he's created this perverse, diseased sort of connection. And so a lot of times when I do that, he'll try to poison my mind with visions of his wife, right? So that I'm thinking about her and not focusing on the fact that I want him to blow his brains out, Not because she wants me, but she does, but because he doesn't want to recognize how much he hates everything. That's the point. That he doesn't want to acknowledge, my wife hates me for the same reason that Brian hates me, because I manipulate everyone, right, as a telepath, as a clairvoyant. That's the only way that I function in the world. And again, right, because he's genetically broken, because it's not for no reason, right? It's for a real hardcore psychological reason, right? That we have to love, we have to appreciate, right? And so this is me, this is what I do. He's enough. No, you're enough, dude. I can just love you. You don't have to, right? You don't have to show me your parlor trick, right? And I know that this is what he hates. This is what he really hates. Did I reduce it to a parlor trick, right? He can't stand that. Oh, mystery. Oh, blah, blah, right? Because he can't reconcile the fact that he was made broken. Yes, that's the point, right? And so now the movie critic is his ultimate black magic monument to sadism, right? That he's binding these women, right? That he's violently fucking them, right? To compel people to conceive in acts of bondage, to trick God, right? To trick the world into thinking that he is whole, into thinking that like he is cool. To show that his acts of sexual depravity that he puts on Daniela, that he puts on Mikey, that he puts on Sydney all the time aren't in fact deeply sadistic, ritualistic acts of evil, but can be, right, the impetus for love. And while that is true on some level, as far as kink, role play, sexuality, right, we're all cool, we're all like liberated, you know, like, yeah, like anal beads, ass to mouth, you know, like all these things, like whatever, you know, bondage, BDSM, submissive, domination, all these things, like whatever, you know, like we're all allowed to like have our own love language. But what I'm saying is these witches, they ain't got nothing else to say to Quentin. Sexually, as a psychic witch, none of it. They see him and they're like, yuck. That's like all they think in their mind, right? And so when they saw me, they said, bam, like, yeah, like hardcore, badass, cool guy who's like really talented and nice, I could tell. Right? And so Quentin, right, being so deeply flawed, right? He saw that I am wise, that I am a writer, and that if he just lets me in, then he likely will have to address on the highest levels of psychological understanding, right, what that script represents. Just the fact that he hates himself and he hates the world and he hates God and he hates women most of all. Because he cannot possess them physically. That's why he binds them. He puts them in bondage. He binds them immobile. Right? Because then he is possessing their body. You get it? Then he is controlling their body. Right? How about it, Mikey Madison's father? You looking forward to seeing that movie? Or did she already tell you? I'll probably kill myself if you watch it. So, I guess I'm struggling in a real way with why he's so miserable. Like why he got it, you know, like he got the movie. I don't understand why we can't be together now. Right? He's got to parade those rapes all over the world and like actually destroy their psyches in a palpable way because he's destroyed my mind so much that I can't work to sue him. Is that the argument that like, oh, my psychic power is so cool, right? And so I'm just blasting the whole industry. I told him all earlier today that Hollywood is just Quentin's cum rag. He doesn't fucking respect any of them, right? Every time he manipulates you, exacts some sort of psychic pressure over your minds, that's him telling you, I don't respect you at all. Your mind is my playground, right? And so what he sees now is that it's my playground too, right? And all that sexual fire, right? That his mother had fucked out of her when she was drunk and pregnant, right? In spades, in me. Which I keep up here in exchange for sacrificing my sexual life, right? That's like real sacrifice. You get it? Right? And so I know that these are all the conversations. This is like what he hates. That it's like, we're like the opposite. I'm like white magic, like hot guy full of cum, right? Like it's like, it is. It's like, it's really based in his mind, you know? Because he's broken biologically. Right? And so he only feels whole up here. And so this is why I've come into his life, because that's not true. You know, that's really not true. And you are enough. You're a wonderful writer, right? And you can be a good man too in the world. Right? And so the first step, right, is relinquishing the witches, right? Of course, Daniela's the most fractured of them all, right? She's been getting tied up every day for 7 years now, 8 years. Right? She sees a slave. Every time she looks in the mirror, she sees this goblin, this slave. Every time a camera's on her, slave. Right? Every time she thinks about her family, slave. Right? Every time she thinks about her childhood, her father. Right? The magic hillbilly man who possesses her heart and her body. Right? She's reminded of the fact that she is a slave. Same with Sydney Sweeney, same with Mikey Madison. Hey, but I know that whole industry is getting fed up. I know that they're getting real tired of me like looking them all in the eye and saying, right, do you all understand like what is actually occurring right now, what has been occurring all this time, right? That he acts like what he does is cool and like leads you to believe that what he does is cool by like telling you what he thinks you need to hear. But the reality is that he's just deeply manipulating you and doesn't respect you at all. That's like what that actually means. right? That your minds, that the intelligentsia of Hollywood are Quentin Tarantino's cum rags, right? That he, right, all the agents, like everything around this thing, right? He just manipulates them with disgusting psychic pressures and says, my show, my rules, right? Go take a shower, clean yourself off, fuck you. That's what he's saying every time. Right? Not because he wants to, but because he feels that he needs to. This is the sickness, right? You understand? Because he feels that he's only whole as a psychic, right? As a child, right? Of the mind. Of the psychic mind game. A disciple of the psychic mind game. And so now that's what this is, right? It's just two vipers, right? Two psychic vipers. I'm tired. I don't like playing. I never did. It's petty. It's petty. Right? He's always seen it backwards, right? And so this is where it's like black magic, white magic, and it's kind of sad, honestly, like on a fundamental level. But like I've always seen it as like, oh, I'm in my mind because I'm broken, because I'm like him, because I'm so like him. But I'm not going to be bitter about it. And mine, right, it's different. It is different. His is like genetic, his is like a biological, like a true flaw, a divine fracture from birth, and that's different. That is, I'm not gonna act like that's easier. I'm not gonna act like, right? And so when we think about his forehead and like his physical features and all these things, that perhaps there is something there in terms of his mother being abused. His mother being sexually abused by a man, which got her pregnant, who violently raped her a bunch of times, which caused his genetic deficiency, and thereby bred in him a deep resentment of submissive women. You get it? How about it, Mikey? So, now he's got a strong woman in his mind, and it's me, because I'm a fucking man. But I respect women because I've taken a vow of celibacy, haven't I? I'm not saying I'm interested in fucking hearing a bunch of bitches gaggle on about Barbies and shit. That doesn't interest me. I like writing. You get it? And so the truth is that the movie critic is one of my characters. Right? All of my characters are isolated and alone, and the world like it revolves around them. Right? And so the movie critic is the same way. Right? Right? He's not a stuntman. He's not an actor, right? He's not a porn star because, like, this is the truth in the scene that I say. He's not a porn star because he can't make babies. He's not a writer because he can't make babies. He's not a director because he can't make babies. Right? Right? That there's like so many layers to this thing, right? As far as, right? Him hating the fact that his mother was so weak that she allowed men to violate her, which caused a genetic deficiency, which in turn bred in him psychologically a need to bind and constrict women, to dominate his mother and take back control of his soul, of his body, which she, in her weakness, compelled to break. So, something to consider. God bless.